But because they like being the victim.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And well, that's
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
it's like
people are just idiots, and people just deserve to
well,
get
here's the thing. I don't know the exact stories, but I'll try to use Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods, and Michael Jordan as an example. Like as far as like punishment and victim and this and that, right? A lot of people would say Michael Jackson had his childhood robbed, right?
Right.
Like he fucking had parents that never let him be a kid and just made him practice,
And emotionally abused him.
Right, and same thing with Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan's father, I think, bounced on him. He wasn't even there. And so these people become great, you know? Like they become great fucking whatever they become. And it's sort of like the victimizer. It's like they made them. Like Batman is Batman because of his parents being murdered, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that's cool.
Infinity sign. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of the
who murdered Superman's
entire. It's like when you don't have bad things happen to you and you live in a storybook life. The wanting to like, I'll fucking show, you know, like proving to yourself.
The drive.
Yeah, like the drive is missing, you know. I dated all right.
But do you feel like really bad shit has happened in your life? I feel like you have the drive.
I do have the drive. Well, okay. I'll tell the last story of where I probably got the closest to beating a woman. What was it? I dated a Power Ranger when I was 21 years old. It was my first adult relationship where I was like...
Wait, she dressed up like a Power Ranger?
She dressed up like a Power Ranger on television and played one for a few seasons. Yeah.
Yellow, right? You said?
She was... Oh, I don't... Well, yeah. Her skin was yellow, but she did not play the yellow Power Ranger. It was way later on when...
Pink?
When Power Rangers first came out, everyone was their color. The black guy was the black Power Ranger. the Asian chick was the yellow Power Ranger. The
pink one was probably
the pink one was the white girl. Like,
yeah.
But then later on, they switched it up, and everyone was everything. And she was Korean, and
would she wear it for you and stuff?
yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever fucked her without the uniform on.
Like, what would
What
be
are
the
those
point?
people called?
Cosplay or
Cosplay or furries?
furry or whatever.
But that's a little.
There was
different.
an MTV show where they all get together and go at it.
All right, thanks for that input. So she was a bitch, and I was just like, oh, she's so pretty, and like I got caught up in more of an idea. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like, oh, she's so pretty, and she's creative, and this and that, and it's like I hated like she was a raver. I fucking hated everything about what she represented, but I forced myself to pretend like I was into it. Mm-hmm. And she was such a bitch to me sometimes. And then I had never had this experience before in my life where I met her parents, and before saying hello or anything, the first thing her mom ever said to me is, "How much money do you make?"
Ew.
And I was like, whoa. And then the second thing is, how do you expect to take care of my daughter?
Look at me now, bitch.
And I was like, this is crazy. I want, like, who the fuck talks to me like that? I wanted to say something, but I'm like, this is my fucking bitch's mom. What the fuck, you know?
Ugh.
And it left
probably liked it.
It left such a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, okay, well, at least I know where she gets it from, you know?
Right.
And it was crazy because we were living together in downtown. Actually, we lived right down the street from here. It was the first time I had ever lived with a girl.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I was doing everything I can to try to make any kind of money, you know, which was impossible. Like, it was very rare that I sold any paintings, and, you know, I was just going like from one freelance job to the next one. And, you know, I was getting paid like $150 for paintings and shit back then. So I was actually writing letters for Asian Fever for Hustler, and that was like $60 a letter or something. I think it was like $40 maybe. So I was like, oh fuck, this will be cool, like 50-50. You know, she got that Power Rangers money, that Saban money, you know, and she's like, no, men are supposed to pay for everything. So
Yeah,
she
I
had a
hate that.
car, and she had just come off Power Rangers, so it's like when we would go out in public, like no one knew who she was, but kids would go crazy. Like little kids would be like, oh my God. And
Oh, they don't wear a mask as a Power Ranger?
no,
take it off.
Yeah, they're like
They only wear it when they're fighting, right?
and then that's just cutscenes from Japanese, some other cartoon or whatever. But yeah, so kids knew who she was, and I was like, oh man, this bitch ain't chipping in shit, you know? She wouldn't let me drive. So it was just, and I was like, no, I'm the man. I gotta take care of this shit. So I was out every fucking night committing crimes. I was like fucking stealing food from supermarkets and pegging my pants, you know, pegging my, like making my jeans tight at the bottom and like just throwing tons of food down my pants and and running out of the supermarket. And yeah, I mean, it was just her and her mom, and just it just left such a bad taste. And then
And they drove you to crime.
well, I mean, I was already a criminal. I'm not gonna blame her for that, but I started stealing more because I was like, I gotta keep, you know. And then I started getting like a little bit more of, you know, I started writing for magazines, and my name was starting to get out there, and she started getting jealous and shit. And I did
She
it.
just sounds like a bad person.
Yeah, I did an interview with her, and she was so boring that I made her sound like as interesting as possible. And people were like, she's so fucking cool, and she got like a magazine cover out of it and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I did all of that, you know? And she was like, you know who went on from Power Rangers to become a big actor?
Who?
Nobody. Exactly. So her contract had just ended, and it's pretty cool what Saban does, or not cool. It's they Power Rangers is a half an hour commercial for the toys, to sell the toys. That's
Okay.
all it is. The acting is shitty. It's fucking retard shit for kids. And so they want to pay those actors as little as possible. So once you work for a certain amount of time, then you get your SAG card, and then you have to get paid a certain minimum.
So they cut you off?
And that's when they fire everyone
Right.
and hire the next batch. So she had just got enough to whatever, and she got fired. And you know, her acting, it was like Power Rangers acting, like it was whatever. And she wanted to be the next like Meryl Streep or whatever. And you know, this is when I learned about space for the first time. It's like we lived in a place, like a loft, that had no walls. So there was no privacy, and there was no... And I would walk home sometimes, and I would come in as she was making an audition tape of herself for Bring It On 2 or something. And I would be like, oh, sorry. And she'd be like, I was in character. And I was like, oh, sorry for...
Ew, I hate this.
for
girl.
Asian background cheerleader number 3 or whatever, and I would take it, you know.
Yeah.
I was a fucking, I was not the great man you see here today. I was a fucking, I was a cuckolded
What
fucking
is that called?
cuckold, or I don't know. I was a fucking weenie. I just fucking ate shit. I
Yeah.
ate crow all the time. It was like,
Oh, that's the worst. Because then we'll just be mean to you until you leave.
yeah, she wouldn't fuck me, or she'd be like, oh, if you want to fuck me, go ahead. And like, I'd be like, what? Like, she'd be like reading a book, and I'd be like, you know, it's been like a week since we had sex. Can we like? And she's like, if you have to do it, go ahead. And she'd be reading the whole time, and I'd be like, "Ugh," like trying to get any kind of like emotion out of her, and she'd be like, reading. She's like, is it
You
in
think there
yet?
was somebody else?
And I was like, oh god, and yeah,
It sounds like she lost respect for you.
yeah, probably, you know, and so.
Do you think the money thing had something to do with it?
It's
Because of the way she was brought up.
one thing I learned. One thing that I love about that relationship is she represented to me everything that I never.
Want in a woman?
Yeah, and that's when I learned that, like, shut critter, stop fucking, like, oh, love, that word gets so overused, and it was respect and truth and honesty. I'm like, that shit, it's like, if you respect someone, then you can love them. If you are honest with someone, then you can love them. It's like, if you're like, oh, I love this person, but you don't respect them and you're not honest with them, how can you ever have love? And I'm like, yeah, baby. Like, I didn't respect that she was like a shitty actress trying out for Bring It On, whatever. Like, I want to be with someone where I'm like, yeah, I love what my bitch is doing and what she stands for and this and that. So I didn't respect her, you know? And at this point in my life, I was, you know, I had a petty crime career, and I had started to get to the point where I was losing every single time that I went to Vegas. Like, that was my Toys R Us paycheck, my pizza delivery paycheck. Like, every paycheck, I was like, I need to make money to impress this bitch. Like, if I made $1,000, I'm like, I gotta double this in Vegas. And I did it once. You know, like when you first go to Vegas and you were like, oh my God, I won. You're like, oh, I could do this every time. So that began a long reign of like losing.
How long were you with her?
I was with her for 2 years. And
you'd only have sex once a week?
no, at the end it was like almost never.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there. I've been in relationships like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Why? If you're not having sex, why be in a relationship?
I don't know. For me, sometimes it's really hard to leave.
Well, this is what happened. Yeah, I mean, I just, even though it's horrible, this Korean stubborn side of me is like, by any means necessary, make this shit work.
Yeah.
So I went to Vegas and age 15 is when I started till about 23. So like for 8 years, I would say consistently I lost every time. Like I would never, very rarely would I come back with money.
You're such a masochist.
I would lose, and I was like, oh, next time I'm gonna get it. Next time I'm gonna get it. And so one of these times she wanted to come with me, and I was like, all right, come with me. I'll show you my baller skills and whatever, you know?
But she knows you lose every time, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Would they give you free rooms?
no, I wasn't at that level yet. Are you kidding me? So we went to Vegas, and Vegas brings out a certain quality in people where they just fight or get into arguments on the strip and shit. So we got into some fight about some shit. I don't remember. Lost all my money, and we're driving back and we're still fighting. And
Driving back to LA.
driving back to LA, and I had my lucky Hawaiian shirt on, which is like my favorite shirt of all. I wore it all senior year. So we're driving back, and she has that Korean fucking coldness where it's just like she's never gonna give an inch. She's never gonna fucking, you know. And I'm doing the whole, hey baby, let's like try to fix it, and it's like no. And it got heated at some point, and then I just called her a bitch. I was like, you're like, and I never ever.
After all this, this was the first time you
I had
called her a
never
bitch?
called any woman in my life a bitch.
Okay.
I had never, like, that was like taboo. That was the same thing as hitting them.
Right.
I would never ever say that to a woman. And I called her a bitch, and she fucking clocked me. She punched me like this. She's driving and she punches me in my face, and I'm like, it was like a, oh my God. And she starts hitting me, and I'm sitting there taking it. And so she's punching me in my jaw, in my face, and my eye, and she's just hitting me. She's like, don't ever call me a bitch. And she's hitting me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm taking it. And she's just punching me, and then she fucking rips my shirt open. And like I would sit there and take 100 punches, but she ripped my shirt. It's like she ripped my shirt, and as she ripped it, she fucking left Wolverine claw marks on my chest. She's like, and I saw that, and I was like, stop the car. Stop the fucking car right now. And she's like, why? What are you gonna do? And she keeps driving. I go, stop the fucking car. And she won't stop. I fucking kick the door open and I jump out of the car while it's going like 50, 60 miles an hour. I hit the ground so hard and I start spinning, like my clothes all rip and shred. And she stops, and I just start angrily walking down the street. And she's like, what are you gonna do? Like walk home? I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a shit. And then it's like, you're a bitch. You're like the worst human being I ever met. Get the fuck out of my life. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, get away from me. And she just kept following me, and I was like, she like just driving with her hazards on along the side of the freeway, and which is super dangerous too, you know. And I'm like, get away from me. I don't ever want to see you again. Like, just get away. Like, you're horrible. And she wouldn't go away, and so I just cut into the desert, and then she couldn't follow me. So she just took off, and now I'm in 110 degrees in the middle of the desert with no money and a ripped shirt. I'm bleeding in my chest.
And there's no rest stop for like forever.
Yeah, there's nothing even close. And I'm sitting there going, I am the biggest loser on the planet. I'm a fucking loser. I'm like, I think I'm this cool guy, but I shoplift fish from Safeway and I lose all my money. Like I can't even, like I have this girl, I can't even fucking keep her happy. I can't take care of her. Like I'm never gonna fucking sell a painting. Like it's all, and at that moment I was like, I'm gonna fucking be so fucking rich and make this dumb cunt fucking like ever wish she ever fucking was mean to me or doubt me or this and that. And yeah, I mean, she would fucking do anything for the fucking opportunities I have now. I get asked to direct movies, be in movies, this and that. Like, I'm not even trying to be in movies. Mm-hmm. And so on that end, I win, and it does feel good a little bit, but...
So thank you dumb cunt.
But it was a combination of... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it needed to happen.
Yeah.
If Critter was in the car and, like, punched me or... Oh, actually, that doesn't work. If I had punched her. Well, either way, it needed to happen.
Yeah.
And so the walking, a combination of walking in the desert with the hot sun, I started figuring out a way of how to never lose in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to figure out a way. I this can't go on. Mm-hmm. Every time I go to Vegas, I win money.
You should just quit. You were going to figure out a way.
I was like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, every time I go to Vegas, there is a point when I'm happy. There is some point in Vegas where I'm like, shit, I'm winning.
Ahead.
But I never leave with the money. I got to figure out what that is, what that point is, why I win, but I don't leave with it. And it's greed. How do you eliminate greed? And so I figured out the system. It's not complicated. It's just gamble and keep doubling up until you win as much. Like, whatever you lose, you just keep doubling up till you win. Then with all self-control, and this is where Harry Kim comes in. Harry was my partner. He would come with me, and he would stop me when I won. We'd go put the money upstairs in the room and just keep doing that repeatedly. And at that point, from age 23 to 30, then it was like 7-8 years of losing straight. And then that was just like, my hand hurts from the amount of high fives I gave Harry during that time. Like, we were like, yes. Yeah. I mean, we were winning so much fucking money after that, but that would have never happened if this bitch didn't punch my face 100 times and claw my chest.
Ew, imagine like you were still with her. You'd
Yeah.
probably be like not having any kind of success.
I would
definitely wouldn't be in my beanbag.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was with her for almost 2 years, day and night, in an open loft, never away from her.
Where is she now?
I don't know. I actually Googled and did all the social media searches. I don't know. I just wanted to find out where she is.
Did she call you after the Facebook thing?
No. I saw her in a Citibank or something commercial. My dad saw her, and he's like, "Oh," but I should actually. Okay, so basically, for 2 years I was with this girl, never away from her. Mm-hmm. And when I say 2 years.
That makes me like think, how do people do it in New York? Because all the couples live in like, if you have a 1-bedroom, that's fancy.
I don't think couples really stay together in New York. You know,
Yeah,
I think.
Wait, quick question. How'd you get home from the desert?
So you know, if for those of you who don't know, I'm a master hitchhiker, and I walked out of the desert and I thumbed it. A nice couple gave me a ride all the way to LA.
That's nice.
Did you beat her home?
No,
Can you imagine?
basically,
Welcome home.
she was really mean to me, but she couldn't be away from me. And all I wanted,
Yeah, I've been that girl many times.
I hate your guts.
No, I mean, I'm not like that anymore, but I've been there.
But here's the thing.
Times.
Here's the thing. Cool people are cool. Mm-hmm. Cool people don't need to say, I'm cool. Mm-hmm. You know? A mom that's like, I'm a good mom. A real good mom never needs to say that.
Right.
For you to say the words, I'm a good mom, means you're defending yourself to someone, and you're probably a horrible mom. Mm-hmm. Good moms usually say, I'm a horrible mom, because they think they're not doing enough. So what I was to this bitch for 2 years was all my friends, your brother included, all dude, she's sort of shitty. And, no, she's cool. I was just defending her. She's awesome. She's rad. And I would just keep painting her as this amazing person who I wanted her to be.
Right.
But she wasn't. And I didn't get enough space from her. And it's what I was saying about the road. It got to the point where I was like 21 or 22. And all my friends still lived in LA. Joey, Bobby's brother Mike, and my friend Brian. And it was... I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. And it was the point where everyone was about to move to New York and Arizona and other countries and other cities. And so it was like one last road trip, bros trip. And I was like, whoa, I haven't taken one trip away from this girl in like ever. You know, I've been with her every step of the way, you know? And she really didn't want me to go. And I'm like, these are my best friends who, not that I'm never going to see them again, but this is the last time we'll all live in LA together like this, you know? And she's like, I don't want you to go, this and that. And I was like, all right, well, everyone's like, grow some fucking balls. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. So we started in the LA train yard here, and the four of us hitchhiked from LA to Seattle. And it was like, that's a million other stories of the kind of shit that happened.
Four boys.
Four boys. We got picked up by guys with AIDS that begged us to suck their dicks. I mean, everyone's like, no one's going to pick you up. Everybody picked us up.
And you only rode together?
We rode trains. We hitchhiked. It was like an amazing trip.
Okay.
And what it was the first time in 2 years that I got to take a step away from her. And so I was like, wow, she is a bitch. Instead of like my friends subtly going, hey, maybe she's not that cool. Like,
right.
I was like, whoa, she is a fucking piece of shit. She's like a horrible person. And so I was like, and that's what the road does. It fucking shined a light on the relationship. And I was like, fuck, this shit's got to end. So I came home and I was like, fuck, dude, I have to break up with this chick. This is crazy. Like, even after the Vegas shit, we stayed together and whatever. And 2 fucking years together. And I came home and just, she was different. The vibe was different. And I was like, we need to talk. And she's like, okay, I need to talk to you too. I was like, all right. And I was like, can we fuck first, since I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks? And she wouldn't have sex with me.
She cheated, didn't she?
And I was like, fuck, this is crazy. So we go to this steakhouse. It was just off the freeway. We were going to play mahjong at my friend Nancy's house, and she's like, I need to say something to you. And I was like, oh, me too. And I was a pussy. I was still a pussy. I wasn't this fucking cool, awesome dude that's sitting here right now.
Right.
So she's like, I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something too. And she's like, let me go first. And then she goes,
I'm pregnant.
I think she put it to me like this. She's like, not forever, but for now, we need to break up. Oh. Like, one day, maybe we'll be back together. It was like a total, like, fucking little kids breakup. Like, like a bullshit breakup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And in the same time, I was like, oh, fuck, I was going to just try to break up with her. But the fact that she did it first, I started crying into my steak.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I couldn't believe that I never had felt.
You wanted to be the breaker.
Not even that. It was just shocking that it actually happened, because maybe I would have even pussied out, you know?
Right.
So after being with someone for 2 years to, like, thinking that you're going to marry them, to go to that, I was, like, sobbing in my steak. I was bawling, and then I was like...
Why did she want to break up? She was just over the relationship?
She's like, I don't think this is working, but she softened it by saying, maybe we'll get back together after like a year, or like just we need a break. Like it was like a break. We need a breakup, you know?
Ugh.
And I was like, oh my God. And I was so devastated. But then as soon as like I was away from her and like at my friend's house, I was like, yes, I'm fucking free, you know?
Right.
And she was like one of those hot chicks that has no friends, which is most hot chicks. Yeah. She has 0 friends. Yeah. And all she would do is hang out with Joey. Hang out with fucking...
Your friends.
All my friends. And she's like...
That's where rule number 1 came from. She has to have her own friends.
She
has to.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Asa. she's like,
mandatory.
and so she's calling Joey, she's calling Mike, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And me and Critter just had this conversation about choosing. Like when there's a breakup, it's like, dude, you gotta fucking choose. It's like, bitch, these are my friends. This is my friend. They were only friends with you because like you're not fucking. Like, don't fucking call my friends. And then so I put the ultimatum on my friends, like, don't fucking hang out with this bitch. And they're like, okay. I have good friends. So they fucking stopped talking to her. And then she started pulling but we're not like broken up. Like, we're still going to get together one day, right? And I was like, no, it's done. I feel good again. I feel good about my life. My gambling method's working. Like, my paintings are starting to sell. Like, shit's going good.
Sex with me.
Yeah, you.
The person who gets dumped always comes out on top.
Yes.
Always. Like, the person who does the dumping is always the one who regrets it.
So basically,
and wants to get back together.
Been dumped.
So what is the message? Just cheat until the person dumps you?
Right. Just write it out.
Just act like a complete asshole
until.
And you're like, why did you dump me?
Well, that's actually exactly what I do.
You're a horrible person.
What do you do?
But I still love you.
I just like act like a dick until.
Because you don't want to be the one to dump them.
Also, I just have trouble breaking things up because I am a really needy person, and like.
Right.
I do get really comfortable.
I hope you're
and
always
I'll
nice
just.
to me.
So.
I hope you're always nice to me.
I made the.
I will be.
I made the ultimatum to my friends, and she goes, look. If she's like this shit is. We're not getting back. I'm like, no, it's over. Like, forever. Like, I'm never going to. She goes, and, you know, that's like the first girl I ever said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to be together with, like, that shit. And so of course, she has to bring that shit up. She goes, what about those things you said to me? And I'm like, oh, I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And she's
It's not like you didn't mean
She goes,
them.
you said those things. Tell me you didn't mean them. I go, I guess I didn't mean them. So tell it to my face. I go, hell no, I don't want to see you. Get away from me. And she goes, if what you're saying is true right now, say it to my face. And I go, no, just, it's done. Leave me alone. I go home, and she's laying in my bed. She doesn't have the key. The bed that I have is in my parents' house. Mm-hmm. She broke into my window, and it was just laying on my bed. And she looked all weird and shit, even though
Did you have sex with her?
I would have had sex with her. No, there was no sex at the end. Like, absolutely none. And she wasn't really a sexual person. She was really pretty, but you know, there's some girls that are like not that good looking, but they just ooze sex.
Yeah.
And there's girls that are like really pretty.
really, really pretty, but not sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like that. She was really pretty, but not sexy. And then so she just.
Horny ass guy like yourself be with a girl that didn't want to have sex.
Hey.
But you weren't
like
that
I
horny
said,
guy before.
I was. I'm just saying right now.
You pent it up for 10 years.
No, it's not that. It's like like I said, I learned everything from this girl what not to be. So she's standing there now going, say it to my face. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with you. I'll love you forever. Say that you didn't mean those things. I didn't mean those things. And then she just starts crying. And she did she reverse squeezed me. She did that move to me where she's like hugged me and wouldn't let go. And I'm like, fuck, how long is this hug gonna last? And she's like, just squeezing me. And I'm like, this hug needs to fucking end soon, you know?
This conversation is making me tired.
I know, I'm sorry.
Like, I'm so stressed out.
It's only gonna get worse. Nah, it'll get better. And she goes, she goes, okay. All right, this shit's over. It's really over then, huh? Mm-hmm. And she goes home, and then I get an email.
Ugh.
And she goes, "Is this shit really over? If this shit is really over, I got to tell you something."
I'm pregnant.
And I go, "Oh fuck! When you went on your little road trip with your buddies, I got raped." And I'm like, and your brother. I don't know why your brother's always with me when I get revenge. It's fucking awesome. Your brother was sitting on my bed, and I'm just the second I saw the word rape, I just burst into tears. I just started.
Do you believe her to this day?
I'll tell you what happened.
Because right now, let me tell you, I don't think she's.
I started crying, and
Telling the truth.
I was 21, 22 years old. So rape to me is jogging in the park and some guy jumping out, and I didn't even know the story. I just immediately started crying, and all I saw was red. I started putting shotgun shells into the shotgun that Joey gave me, and I just said, I called her up, and she's like, "What? Are you crying?" I was like, "Who is it? Where does he live?" And she's like, what, "Does this mean you still love me? Why do you care? If we're not together, why do you?" And I was like,
I hate this bitch.
"Because you were raped on my watch while you were my girlfriend. Someone's gonna die right now. I'm gonna fucking kill someone right now.
No girlfriend of mine gets raped.
I don't give a shit. I hate you. I don't give a fuck. But the fact that you were my girlfriend when you got raped," and she's like, "I don't understand what you're saying." I was like, "Who the fuck is it? And tell me where the fuck he is right now." And Mike, he's just like, "What the fuck?" He doesn't know what the hell's going on. And I go, I couldn't talk. And I tell him, you need to get in the car because I can't drive, and you need to start the engine, and I'm gonna go kill someone right now. And he says, "Okay."
Is he crying?
Yeah. No, he's cool. Mike.
No, you.
No, I'm not crying. So Mike says, "Okay." This
bitch better not be lying.
He's one of my best friends, and he'll do anything for me. I'll do anything for him. So he doesn't ask any questions. And I go, "I got the address for a guy that raped my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend.
How does she have his address?
She went through willingly."
He's like, "All right." So then Mike doesn't.
Don't even tell me it's a date rape right now.
Mike doesn't get all crazy and try to talk me out of it. Mike's like
down
cool,
for the cause.
Cool. He's down and he's cool and even tempered.
Right.
And we get in the car, and then those questions start coming up. How does she have his address?
Right.
So I'm still on the phone with her. I have a shotgun. I'm crying. Mike's driving, and the questions start to come out. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm killing a guy who I think is violently raped her. That's the only thing I'm seeing. So as we're driving to the guy's place, it turns out she went to a rave while I was on my road trip with my buddies. Then she went home with a guy that said he had good ecstasy. And I'm talking to you like this, like with the normal, even-tempered voice right now. The conversation on the phone was like, he knocked you out and then carried you home. Like in my head, like there's a rave master that punched her in the face and dragged her by her hair.
The rave master.
I don't even know. Like a rave guy with like...
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what happened. You went home with the guy.
Right.
No one punched you and then carried you over your shoulder at a rave.
Yeah, against her will.
And then she's like, and then I took this thing. I didn't know. I'm like, wait. So now I'm sobering up a little bit from my bitch tears. And I go, you went home with some guy that you didn't know, and you took drugs that you didn't know what they were.
And you met him at a rave.
Right. Which is the worst thing. I should have fucking punched her in the face for being a raver. So she goes, I wake up. It was a roofie. I wake up and he's on top of me and I can't move. And so he's pumping away.
First of all, if you're down to take ecstasy at some dude's apartment, there's a slight chance you might fuck him.
Well, it wasn't ecstasy. It was a roofie or whatever. And so
but I'm saying she willingly took an ecstasy, right?
Went back to his house.
So I'm like just her going to the
You don't
guy's...
go to some dude's house to take ecstasy and not fuck him.
Right, exactly. So now
Where do I get ecstasy at?
so we're getting now it's like the crying went from what, who the fuck is it to what, bitch? What the fuck you talking about? And I'm like, Mike, turn this fucking car around. Like, this is so stupid. I was like, you are a horrendous cunt whore bitch. You're the worst human being I've ever met in my life. You're a cunt. Your brother's a cunt who I tried to impress by giving him my rare Revenge of the Jedi poster. Like, before it was called Return of the Jedi. It's the number one regret one of the biggest regrets I have in my life is that I gave him my special edition Revenge of the Jedi. That was the movie before they called it Return of the Jedi. And I gave it to him to, like, get in good with the family. That fucking cunt. And then your mother's a cunt. You need to never ever talk to me again. Don't call my you fucking cheated on me. And nobody deserves to get raped, but you got raped because you fucking went to some dude's house and took drugs that were not, you know.
This person is horrible.
Right. So that was
So that's the one time you wanted to hit a woman? Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Yeah, that's like a 2-hour version. And the thing was,
there's nothing worse than a girl who cries rape when
Right,
really
right.
she just made a bad decision.
It's the worst.
Like, I hate that. Ugh.
and the shittiest part was I had already started dating the girl that I was going to be with for 7 years. And so this happened at the honeymoon period. And she's like, you were about to fucking kill a motherfucker over this bitch? And that created such a huge problem in our relationship that it was like the relationship was over and it was still fucking haunting me that she was like, if I ever meet this bitch, which she never would because it's so, you know, she lived in San Jose and this chick lived in Hollywood. There was no way they would ever meet. She's like, I am going to fucking strangle this bitch.
Well, also, when you're a new girlfriend, there's nothing more threatening than the ex-girlfriend. For me.
Right.
Like, nothing makes me more jealous than the ex-girlfriend.
Well, the new girlfriend was Vietnamese and she doesn't let shit go. So she never let that go. She's like, I'm going to kill this bitch and this and that. And I was like, cool, because it's never going to happen. Those worlds will never collide.
Yeah.
And then they did.
Oh.
It was San Diego Comic-Con. And Comic-Con is my domain. Power Rangers, Hollywood shit is her domain, you know?
Yeah.
And
stay the fuck out.
yeah, that's where I go. That's where I can nerd out and whatever. And so this is 2 years after this story I just told, and my current girlfriend still hasn't let it go. She's still like, I'll kill that bitch one day if I see her. So she comes with me to Comic-Con, and then Harry, who was with me, comes out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, the ex-girlfriend's here. And she's like, where, Harry? Show me right now. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it's like two chicks are going to fight over me at a fucking comic book convention.
You're like,
Oh my God, your wet dream.
And my current girlfriend at the time was a foot taller than her. And she looked all weird. She had like blue hair and she was wearing like weird anime kind of clothes. And I was like, oh my God, this is, I shut down. And she was with her new boyfriend, who I was like, oh my God, I just seen this guy on like MTV Cribs. Like, who is this guy? And she's like, I don't know who the fuck that dude is, but you talk to him, I'm going to deal with this bitch. And I'm like, whoa. And Harry's like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go up to the guy and I'm like, this guy's famous. I just seen him somewhere. And it's fucking Joe Hahn from Linkin Park. And he was the next guy that dated my ex-girlfriend. And so he is like, hey, what's going on right now? And he's a huge comic book thing. And I just saw the Linkin Park Cribs. And I was like, you're in a band or something, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what's going on right now? I was like, bro, this is some fucking old shit. Just like let it happen and then it'll be over. And he's like totally like, what the fuck? He had a backpack on. And you just see this tall bitch screaming at a bitch like, you motherfucker, and you fucking did. And the other girl's like just looking up at her like, oh my God. And just me and Joe off to the side is the most awkward waiting moment ever. And then as we're waiting, like Joey shows up and he's like, is that, oh my God. And I'm like, and this guy is just like, this poor guy, he's just like, what's happening?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, you're Korean, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, is that your girlfriend? He's like, no, she's just my friend. Yeah, that's my girlfriend. And I was like, all right, since you're Korean, I'm gonna give you some Korean bro thing. That's my ex-girlfriend. I dated her for 2 years, and then I pretty much gave him like the 10-minute quick version of this entire story I just told you guys. And
There's a 10-minute version?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why didn't we get that one?
Because I don't know. Just killing time. What are we here for? And then so he's just sitting there going, he didn't say one thing. And I was like, I'm like,
Crazy.
dude, you're rich, you're famous, you're in a big band. Like, you can get any girl. Like, this chick is poison for you. Like, get away from her, you know? Totally threw her under the bus. And he didn't like acknowledge yes or no. He was just like, you know. And she goes, and now go to Dave and say fucking sorry to him. And then so she walks over and she's like, I'm like, no, don't talk to me. I don't want to. Just please get out of my life forever. And oh man, she was like steaming, like.
Which one?
My current girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I should have fucking killed the bitch. And Harry was like, he was like waiting to see a fight, and then it didn't happen, and then they just went off with like their tails between their legs, and then 3 years later, Linkin Park did a album with Jay-Z, and their management called me to do the album cover, and I was like, does he know who I am? Like, and then I did their album cover.
And did he?
And then they fucked me over. Like the whole Linkin Park Jay-Z album was like a #1 on the charts for like months, and they did all this. They ripped off my art and did all this advertising with it. With it's like total Warner Brothers or whatever, Sony or whoever they're with, fucking me over. And that's actually a pretty cool story too, because when you buy artwork from an artist for like an album cover, it's just for that, unless you negotiate. Is it for bus benches? Is it for magazine ads? And it was just for that. It was nothing. They paid me like $2,000 or $3,000 for like the biggest rock band in the world at the time and the biggest hip hop act in the world. And I'm like, that's what you guys are gonna pay me? But then there was billboards, magazine ads, and I was like, you guys gotta pay me for that shit. And they're like, the lawyer of the Warner Brothers told me, was saying all this shit in like legalese. I go, I am not a lawyer. I'm a stupid artist. Like, you got to talk to me like a normal person. And he's like, whatever you do, you get a lawyer, you win this case, like you lose this case. Like, he was explaining to me, like, no matter what you do at the end of this, you're going to be broke. Like, if you fight it, you're not going to win. We're fucking Warner Brothers, you're you. And I was like, and this whole time I was dealing with the art director. I never met anyone in Linkin Park. I never met Jay-Z. And I was like, really? These guys are cool with them fucking over artists like this? This is fucking bullshit. And at that moment, I was working with Facebook. I was friends with Sean Parker. He was starting to put Facebook together with Mark Zuckerberg. And he's like, dude, what the fuck's going on with you? And this and that. And we're hanging out. And I go, Warner Brothers is fucking doing like this huge ad campaign with my art and not paying for it. And he's like, oh, I can help you out there. So Facebook at the time, like everyone, it was just starting to get huge and people wanted to advertise and this and that. And he had a meeting with Warner Brothers, and he took the meeting, and the entire meeting he sat there and they're like, oh, we want to invest in you guys. We want to do this. We want to put money in this and this. And he goes, and I couldn't believe that he did this for me. And he told me before what he was going to do, and I was like, don't do that. Like, it's not worth it. And besides, he was taking meetings with every major company to get investors and this and that. And he listened to their whole presentation, and he's like, And he's like, that's a great presentation, guys. But because you guys fucked over David Choe, we are never going to work with you guys. So go eat a dick, go fuck yourself. And I was like, revenge again. Aww. Winning. I was like, it felt so
That's
good.
Sweet.
Right. But the thing is, Johan is my friend now. He's one of the coolest guys. Like, my friend Pat from Ruka is friends with him. My comic book friend Jim Lee's friends with him. So they're all like, Joe really likes you. He wants to meet you. And I was like, I have no fucking desire to meet this guy that fucked me over. So then finally they were like, meet him. He's nice. It was like, play date, Korean, comic books. So after all these years, we sat down and we had Korean barbecue together. And when my friend Jim went to the bathroom, it was just me and him at the table. And I was like, you know I'm suing you, right? And he's like, what? And I was like, you guys totally fucking used my art without permission. He's like, what? And that he had no idea. You know, they never even involved the artist or whatever. So he called all his lawyers and he did the right thing. And we found out that guy that threatened me, he had gotten fired. So all in all, it was all good. But then there was still a question.
Did you get paid?
No, I didn't get paid, but they missed out on being like huge investors in Facebook, and also all because of little old me. But
wait, so okay, and then you asked him about the girl?
Well, we hung out that time and didn't bring it up, and then I was like, he actually is like the nicest guy ever. And then we started being friends. And then one day when we were just driving, I was driving up to his house. I was like, "Do you remember who I am?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Do you remember meeting me 5 years ago at Comic-Con?" And he's like, "I wish to God, like I remember, and I was hoping that you would never ever bring that up." And he's like, "Yeah, I should have listened to you. She was horrible, and this and that." So. That's the end of my.
I mean, that poor girl could have had 2. I mean, I guess.
I think, and then she dated Bobby Lee after.
Okay,
so
can
she
I tell
just
you something
dates-
really fucking crazy right now?
Yes.
Okay, so when I was in high school,
Right.
I was waiting the whole fucking time to ask you if she ever dated Bobby Lee. Because when I was in high school, I worked at the Laugh Factory in New York City.
Right.
I was a hostess there. And there was
You must
one...
have seen some great acts.
Yeah, no, I have, definitely. And Bobby Lee was in town.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I was like 16 or 17. And for some reason,
Wait, can you work there? Well, you're illegally working there?
Yeah. In New York, you can work at 14 if you have legal papers.
Oh, that's
or,
cool.
if you have a working permit. So, you can just only work certain amount of hours.
Did you ever do, while you were working there, go open mic? You're like,
No, I would never do that.
You just loved comedy? You would never...
Yeah, like I just really liked it, and I just needed a job. Like it just was
the hell
totally
Bobby
random.
Lee?
Bobby Lee is a Korean comedian. He's
from-
from Mad TV.
Yeah, he's a Korean comedian that, like...
So one day, like he was doing a show that night, but for some reason we had to pass out flyers. Okay, like in the middle of Times Square, and it was me and him. And we just had like a whole day together. And you know, when you spend
You
a
had
whole...
to pass out flyers too?
Yeah, how weird is that? And me too. Like
Was
just
someone-
everything about it was really weird.
Was
I don't know
someone
why.
trying to, like, set you guys up?
I don't think so, because he didn't try to fuck me.
Oh.
Fag.
I mean, I was really young, and he was already probably like 30 something, or I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember him telling
If there's grass
me,
on the field, play ball.
I don't even know if there was grass. Yeah, there was grass on the field, and I was playing ball. But no, but I remember him telling me that this girl had just fucked him over, and then he saw her on TV on the red carpet with the Linkin Park guy.
Wow.
How weird is that?
Wow.
This room is like a big circle.
Yeah.
So she just fucked pretty much Korean dudes that...
Yeah, that's
had-
what he was saying. He said that she
was-
likes famous Korean.
But I was nobody when she met him, and now I'm the most famous
Maybe
Korean
she
in the
just
world.
has a great eye for...
What is that called? What does your buddy call that?
Call what?
When you pat yourself on the back?
Self-congratulatory?
No.
What are you talking about?
Humble brag?
Humble brag.
That's not a humble brag.
Yeah, that was just straight
Saying
up bragging.
I'm the most famous Korean man in the world is there's nothing humble
There's
about
nothing
it.
humble about that. That's a straight up brag. That's how you fucking really do that shit.
A humble brag is like, it's so hard being famous.
Yeah, that's a fucking real shit.
How funny though.
That is crazy. You guys should have
But
married
it's
each other.
it's curious because she had somewhat fame, and now she's completely off the radar. She's not on any social media. I checked, and you can't really Google her.
Is she on IMDb?
I think so, but she hasn't worked at all. So
Maybe she met some rich dude.
I think
and
she married a
him.
rich guy and disappeared. The two things I think happened are either she died or she married a rich guy and is just like, I don't need any of that shit. But god damn, I feel bad for whoever that guy is. But at the same time, I do love her because she made me. She's my Joker.
Yeah.
She made... If I had not met her and she put me through those things at that early age, I wouldn't be this awesome guy that sits here today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's true.
if that experience was the greatest experience of my life, like she was like a fucking warm, caring, honest, fucking brilliant, creative, just fucking amazing chick, then I would be fucking... I wouldn't have went through anything.
Right.
I would have just been like this spoiled fucking... I'm a spoiled piece of shit now, but I went through some shit to get here. If I got spoiled as a piece of shit when I was younger, then I'd probably be like way...
Spoiled piece of shit.
Yeah, like a double spoiled piece of shit. Like, I called you here earlier because I wanted to find out how many fights you've been in.
Not too many.
And do you win?
They're real small fights.
What's your
but
fighting style?
I mean, last time I must have fought, I must have been like 15 or 16.
Who won? Who was it?
I was just, every fight is just like one small punch. No one really won or lost.
Oh, and then people come in and break it up?
Like you punching them or them punching you?
I punched them each time.
So you're the aggressor.
Yeah.
Have you ever punched a woman?
So you won.
No.
Why did you punch this last guy?
The last guy, you know what it was? I was playing roller hockey. I was
Fruit boot.
fruit booting. And he was doing an Asian imitation.
Oh, the race shit.
So then I grabbed him and I punched him in the face.
What was he doing?
Something like that.
What was he doing?
Something like that. I can't remember. I was like 12 or 13.
So he was making fun of you
Yeah.
while you were fruit booting, and you just grabbed
What's
him and
fruit booting?
About inline skating.
rollerblading.
Oh, why is that called fruit booting?
It's fruity, and you're wearing
Wearing a
boots.
boot.
Is this something you guys made up?
Yeah,
I heard it from Critter
Critter's
first.
the first guy I ever
That's
heard
how.
say.
Did Critter make it up?
No, I heard it from one of my buddies.
So you just grabbed him and you decked him.
Yeah.
You're like a real man.
Yeah.
My pussy's wet right now. And what? That was it? Two hits, me hitting you, you hitting the floor?
They broke it up. The referees broke it up pretty quick. Cause yeah, it was completely away from the play.
And that counts as a win.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you punched him and they didn't punch you back, you won.
Cool story, bro. You got something for us today?
Since it's a truncated show, I want to leave it for the next show.
If
but
you-
I got something. I got something else.
All right. Okay.
All right. I want.
Wait, but that's what you said last show.
What the fuck does truncated even mean?
Yeah, like
Also, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
I think you might want to hear it.
okay,
All right. So this is on the topic of jealousy,
okay.
and I don't know. It's getting weird. I've been working with Dave for about 3 years, and then I go out with Carol's friends, and I don't really know them, and they start talking about Dave.
Carol's
Like,
friends?
Yeah. So, and they talk about DVD ASA too. So this is all the same night as those fans came up to me.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, this
It was
is
a very DVD ASA night.
yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So this is weird. And then the next day I get a friend that I played hockey with that I haven't talked to in 10, 15 years. And he starts talking about like business. I'm like, oh no. With Dave.
Oh no.
Doing business with me.
Yeah. Well, not with, with you. I don't think he knows you, but he knows that I work for an artist.
He's like, is Dave's bonds diversified?
No, it's I don't even want to say it right now.
Or he's like, I got a great idea for
So
what?
and then I have somebody else call me, and then I'm like, God, like he's a close friend, so I gotta at least ask Dave. So this is definitely
Wait, this is the same friend?
no.
Or-
They got together, and that's why I got 2 calls.
They fucking
but about the
double-
same project.
They're double
Yeah,
teaming you.
they're both in the film industry.
Oh, great.
So this has got to be way worse than Dave getting lunched.
You're gonna fucking lunch me right now?
No, it already happened, and this is where the jealousy comes in. So I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to ask Dave, and if I ask him, I just want him to shoot it down and just get it over with.
I'll shoot it down right now without even hearing
No,
it.
okay, so then this is the whole jealousy thing. I've only encountered jealousy maybe twice in my life. The one time I was just with some girl and we're eating breakfast and she gets nasty with the waitress. And I'm like,
Oh, you mean people being jealous about you?
about me.
Oh.
I'm
this
like,
is
whoa, this is weird. But I'm like, okay, I guess that's girls' jealousy. Like she'd be short with the waitress and give her a dirty look because she just went and talked to me for a second, like to take our order. And then the next
How
time,
did that feel?
How do you know that was jealousy?
I think it was. Maybe it wasn't.
But how did it feel?
Let's just say it was.
It felt
Let's just
cool.
say
It felt
yeah.
cool.
You're like, this bitch like wants to own me.
Yeah.
She's like claiming territory right now.
I like a little bit of jealousy too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that
You sound perfect.
I'm driving with
Asa,
Dave.
Asa is the perfect woman.
I'm driving with Dave, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this over with, and then I mention it to you, and Dave isn't even hearing it. He's like, yeah, that sounds cool. You could do it. And he's like, who is this friend? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just some guy I grew up with. Who is this friend? And it's Dave being jealous. And I need to figure out what the backstory to that is. I don't bring any of my friends around Dave because Dave will not allow any outside friends in. And it's
I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
so. Are you ever going to get into that? Because now I get the whole thing. I could see what happened, where Batman rose from the ashes.
Yeah, I have no problem admitting jealousy and shit. I love Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with. I mean, for those of you who don't fucking notice that are watching the show, we're all wearing Bobby t-shirts. Like, I love Bobby. I love his family. I love every weird thing about Bobby. I'm obsessed with Bobby. Mm-hmm. Like, I read every fucking thing Bobby writes on his Instagram. Is fascinating to me. Like, when I find out that he has friends that I don't know who they are, it drives me crazy. It makes me fucking blind with rage. Like, he has this guy that...
We can't talk about that.
All right, so he has this friend in Australia.
We can't talk about that.
That he says is his best friend. I'm your best friend. I'm your best friend.
All right, but we can't talk about that.
I'm your best friend.
All right, you're my best
the guy in
friend.
Australia.
Yeah, you don't have any best friend in Australia. I'm your best friend.
Okay.
Say it again.
Yeah, you're my best friend.
All right.
In LA.
No. I'm your, like, it's, you know, people are like, I'm curating this art show and I'm curating this, like, I curate hanging out time. Time is such a fucking precious thing on this planet, whether you're rich or you're poor, right? You have very little time on this planet and how you want to spend it, right?
Yeah.
I love
Time
my
is
friends. You know? I love my friends. I love hanging out with the people in this room. Like, I like Valentine, I like Asa, I like Critter, I like Bobby. I'm pretty sure I would hate all of Bobby's friends. I don't want to meet Bobby's friends.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I want to hang out with Bobby. I don't want to meet Bobby's friends.
You know,
But I'm not even
don't-
having them meet you. You're so angry towards them. And
Because I don't even like them trying to go through you to ask business
no,
questions.
that was the whole point of this thing.
What?
You were so focused on the
the
friends
fact that he has.
that I have friends.
Yeah, I don't even like Bobby having friends.
But Bobby, I feel like that
Get
makes
rid of
you a
all your-
little bit happy.
Get rid of all your friends. You're
No.
not allowed to have any
You
friends.
seem happy that Dave's a little jealous.
I'm your only
though.
friend.
Oh, that I'm happy that he's jealous.
Not only am I
Yeah.
your friend, I'm your goddamn father.
I mean, it's a nice thing, I guess. But
Say I love you, daddy.
I think you're ruining it, Dave.
Oh, okay.
so we'll never get the backstory of it.
What do you mean, what's the backstory?
Why are you like that?
But you know what? Let me just say, I don't get mad when my friends have other friends, but I'm completely with you that I like select the people that I choose to communicate with,
Right.
and I'm really uninterested in communicating with the people they communicate with.
Exactly.
Like,
But-
I'm so selective about who I ever want to talk to.
Exactly.
But
that-
you'll never meet these people
because
unless you're at the wedding, or I mean, you went at a wedding. but
because
that's it.
Whoa.
whoa, at the wedding
You know, when there's a wedding.
to Quiet Sea.
Yeah.
Hold on, it sounds like you're engaged.
No, I'm not engaged.
But it's coming.
You should have said not
You
yet.
guys are clearly talking about
yeah, I
getting
think so.
married
It's
when
coming soon.
I think
the
so.
wedding came out so smoothly.
Most of the time when we hang out, we talk about
the wedding.
how he's gonna do the proposal.
No. You talk about
Oh, I-
how you're gonna be the
Wait, can we all do something together? Like orchestrate something great?
Yeah, like
We
the
were trying
greatest
to plan
proposal
it.
of
Oh my god, please,
like the
please.
most romantic thing like in
Ever.
the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we should get a helicopter involved.
this is what I
somehow.
have planned for Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah, and Bobby's right. It has nothing to do with him. It's just me, like
Yeah.
living my life through Bobby. The bachelor part, as the best man, which he never even said I am, but as the best man,
Well, you're his best friend.
I'm his best
right?
friend, so I'm gonna be the best man.
Unless this Australian.
What about his brother?
So yeah, I'm Bob. That's Bobby's brother. I'm his best friend. The bachelor party is gonna go 3 months. It's gonna be a 3-month bachelor party that goes from
Which only you and Bobby can
all elements from snow. To,
Yeah, Bobby's not allowed to invite any of his other friends.
Oh, for sure.
No, I'm curating who's gonna show up. It's gonna be the best bachelor party of all.
Why don't you just hold your own wedding?
It's not as fun if it's my wedding. It's better if it's Bobby's wedding. So it'll be the most epic bachelor party of all time that takes place in every environment: snow, desert,
Beach.
jungle, beach, and it's just gonna be epic. It's gonna be life changing.
Are you gonna charter a jet?
There'll be jets. There'll be everything you can imagine.
What makes you think Carol's gonna be okay with him having a 3-month-long bachelor party?
She wants to be
The
married.
point of a bachelor party is it's supposed to be one last night, not one last 3 months.
It's one last semester.
One last quarter of the year.
It's one last quarter. Hey, who made that rule? We're fucking living in
rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, we're living in new times. You know, things. It's gonna be
2000s.
It's gonna be one last hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Like, and then so yeah, Bobby's right. It's usually me talking about it. So it's like I discuss Bobby's 3-month-long bachelor party, and then it's me. He hasn't even said anything about it. It's just me coming up with a million different ideas for the most romantic proposal of all time that involves lots of people, lots of orchestration.
We should make like a YouTube
helicopters,
video.
like
You know the one that they did?
like.
There's like
I hope she's not
YouTube
listening
video.
right now because I don't want to ruin it. But it's gonna be epic.
Bobby has 1 month.
I mean, I think you're more
Yeah.
excited than my parents, Carol's parents, and Carol herself about the whole thing.
Yeah,
Combined.
yeah. That's how much I love you.
Oh.
Yeah, I like I said, I never said
Would your
My friends were gonna
Australian
meet you.
friend do that?
no. Yeah, my friends were never going to meet you. I don't think you're upset about that. That's not the issue.
What do you think the issue is then?
I don't know what it is, but you
You know what it is? Is I like to I like to know everything about my friends, and then like Bobby has this other life that I know nothing about. I mean, we hang out at fucking cafes and shit at 3 a.m. When do you have time to have another life?
I really don't. That's why this is a friend from like 15 years ago.
I found out that Bobby has like black friends and shit.
What?
It's crazy, yeah.
Who?
He hangs out with all these black people and stuff.
No,
which-
there's just one guy.
Bobby be getting
2 guys, Hazy.
yeah, I mean, I have like 1 or 2 black friends that like everyone knows, but like Bobby has these black friends that I don't even know. That's like sort of a big deal. Like, why didn't you ask him to be on the show?
I never thought of it. Yeah, he might want to. No, you've met him before.
I did?
I tried to get him when I first started, right before I first started working for you. He was trying out as a cameraman for Thumbs Up.
I'm basically very protective of Bobby, and I can't.
Do you not like that he has other friends?
I can't live without Bobby.
Do you not like that he has other friends?
No,
Would
he-
you rather he had no friends aside from you?
No,
Be honest.
no, I like that he has whatever.
You just don't want them to ever overshadow you.
Well, let me ask you this, Bobby. I've known Bobby since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Like, because he's friends with Mike. But when did we start hanging out? Like 5 years ago?
Maybe about 4 years ago.
About 4 years ago is when we started, like, he started working for me and we started hanging out all the time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In the last 4 years, has your life become exponentially more exciting and fun and awesome because you're in my life now? Or,
No, it has, for sure.
yeah, so...
So that everyone else should die and not exist.
You shouldn't feel threatened because no one else
feel
that
threatened
he
at all.
meets at this point is ever going to know him from when he was 8 years old.
I don't feel threatened at all.
You totally feel threatened.
No, I think I knew the guy that I'm talking about since I was 5.
Oh, competition.
Oh, shit.
But like I said, I haven't really hung out with him for like 15 years.
Well, what's the problem here anyways? You like it that I get jealous?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I just don't understand it. I mean, I want to know what the origin is, and it's not just me; it's with everyone. You think everyone's else's friends are the shittiest people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is true 80% of the time.
85.
85.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone here, like, everyone in the world hangs out with who they want to hang out with. And then everyone has a story of, like Bobby, me and Bobby are friends. Mm-hmm. And then I hang out with people that Bobby would probably fucking hate.
You're like me.
Like, and it's like, you know, like I would never bring that person around Bobby, you know? So it's like, I like to curate my time with who I hang out with. And that makes you into a douche when you do that. When you're like, hey, don't invite this person to say those words out loud because it's mean to say. But it's like, hey, I said that douchebag move and now that guy's not coming. So I get to have a more enjoyable time.
Do you like to cook?
I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
No, I was going to say, do you like to compartmentalize, like, people in your life?
This is what happened. Here's
But not really, because you do work with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we were in New York a few years ago for someone's art opening, and so everyone was hanging out, like 20 of my friends in New York all together, and there was one weird ass dude that nobody liked. Nobody liked this guy, and he was like, "Hey, what are we doing after this?" And there was like, he was like super creepy guy, like weird with the girls and shit, and we're like,
those are my.
and everyone was like doing this whole elaborate plan to trick him so that he wouldn't come. They're like, "Oh, really tired, just gonna go to sleep early tonight." So everyone was gonna pretend to just go home and then like
secretly
meet up again. But then one person fucked it up. One person was like, "Oh no, we're all going to this bar," and then he was like, "Oh really? I'll come."
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Fuck, man, he's coming now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? I'll take it for the team." So I went up to him and I did it.
Whoa.
There's no nice way to do it, but you could do super asshole way. But it's like, I was like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I was like, "You've creeped out some of the women in our group, and like they just don't feel comfortable hanging out with you. So it's like, would it be cool if you don't fucking come out?" I
ruined his life.
I didn't even say. Actually, I didn't even ask him. Would you?
If someone said, if we were in a group and someone said, if we were in a group and you came up to me and said that, it would ruin my life.
But I would never say that to you because you're not a weird, creepy person.
He doesn't know he's a weird, creepy person. I'm sure on the inside he feels just like I feel.
He's very
normal.
He's very rapey, like touching, inappropriate touching to people. That basically, it's like if I. And the thing is, we all went out and had the fucking best night ever. If he came,
would it really have made a difference if he came?
Yeah, because he always creates some kind of weird incident. It's like, "Oh, get this guy away from me," or whatever. And you know, when I hang out,
is this guy really your friend?
No, he's not my friend. This guy's not my friend. He was. I'm just saying, like
Whose friend is he?
He was like not really anybody's friend. He was just in the group. So I'm like,
he infiltrated the pod.
I was like, yeah, he infiltrated the group, and I was like, no one's gonna say anything to him, and he's gonna ruin everyone's night, and I'm gonna.
Was he a fan?
He was a fan, and I said, bro, like you gotta fucking. But like we knew him. He worked at the gallery that we had the show at or whatever.
Okay, well I thought he was your friend.
No, he's not my friend. I don't.
Then it wouldn't hurt my feelings as much.
No. And I said, look, and I was like, dude, like. There's some people in the group that have a problem with you, so it'd be better if you didn't come. And he was like a little bit stunned and confused, like what? Like really? And I was like, and the thing is, if you met this guy, you would hate his guts. For sure. You would be like, I hate that guy.
Right now I like him.
Yeah, but if you met him, you'd be like, ew, Dave, get this guy the fuck away from me. He was that guy. But like I said, I had to be the asshole, the douche. I took one for the team, and I said and I had no problem doing that, and we all had a good time. And that's that. So
it was worth it.
I think so.
I still feel a little bad for him.
You're a good person. Bobby.
Yeah.
So are we not doing trivia?
What does the fuck does truncated mean?
So instead of trivia today, you decided to tell us that Dave is jealous of your friend?
Well, I wanted to get the psychology behind it, but I still don't have the answer. But it'll come one day.
You don't have the answer? Well, you know what? We'll just have to keep delving deeper into DVD ASA.
Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening.
Wait, so really no trivia?
Yeah, I'll have a good one next time.
Wait, can't we get the truncated version?
Valentine, let's have a carnitas party later, and don't invite any of your friends, okay?
Okay.
See? That's a good answer.
Like no plus ones allowed.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have no problem with that.
No RSVP.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. That's DVD ASA, and we'll be back.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
And that's our show for today. Thanks for listening. You can catch all of David's shenanigans at David Cho on Twitter. You can perv out on Asa at Asa Akira on Twitter. Tune in to DVD ASA for trivia with Bobby. And always remember to fuck me double vag, fuck me double anal, and fuck all sensitive artists.